So my grandma's side of the family were the Piggs, and my dad always used to get into trouble at school for spelling pig with two G's. Um, my great-grandparents, Thomas Beatty Pigg and his wife Sarah Ann, came from Seaham. He was born in Mickley, she was born in Seaham, and they married in Seaham. And then sometime between 1911 and 1916, they moved to Chopwell, because on the 1911 census they're not in Chopwell, but by 1916, when one of their daughters gets married, they're living in Chopwell. And they moved and lived in 5 East Street for most of their working life. He was a miner. And then they eventually went to Adair Terrace, which I think is aged miners type homes. And my great-grandmother, Sarah Ann, lived there until her death at the age of 91, 92. Their children were all born away from Chopwell, but all moved to Chopwell with them. And a few of the men went into the pit. The youngest son didn't. He left Chopwell to get work, and he went to be a crane driver and lived in Gosforth. But the others were miners in the area. But some of them changed their name from Pigg because their wives didn't want that surname, so they changed it to their wives' maiden names. My grandmother, Eveline Pigg, known as Eva, she was born in Seaham. She moved to Chopwell. I don't think she was ever employed. She married my grandfather. When he died as a result of his mining accident, she moved back in with her parents and my dad as a child. But she eventually went to live near her sister at Throckley, and she got a job as a housekeeper at Throckley and eventually married her boss, and was in the Throckley area until just after the war. But she came back to Chopwell in the early 60s, late 50s. Oh, actually, it was the late 50s, because she came back to look after her mother when her mother was ill. And I have a photo of her mother holding me as a baby. So I know roughly the sort of time Grandma was back there. And she lived in Valleydene in the prefabs. She eventually got her own bungalow there and lived there with her sister Flora. And when Grandma's bungalow flooded one winter from a burst pipe, she moved into sheltered housing at Broomfield. And she was there until she got dementia, and she moved to be nearer us, my family, so that she could get more care with after her dementia.